Hello and welcome back again to this video, which is looking at the Gossamer Gear Gorilla. Now this is the 2015 pack that was released in the Robic fabric and has proven to be exceedingly popular. Now I'm a bit tardy in doing this video. I should have done it last year, but hey, there you go, such as things, life gets in the way. So without further ado, let's head off to a nice little studio somewhere and hear all the details about the Gorilla. The Gossamer Gear Gorilla pack is a very interesting pack in the Gossamer Gear range. It falls in the middle of the range of their packs. You have the much larger long distance, if you like, Mariposa pack. Then you have the Gorilla pack, which is a 40 litre pack compared to the 60 litre of the Mariposa. Now 40 litres is adequate for most people for weekends, perhaps long weekend trips. It's also pretty good for people who sort of fall into the ultralight category with their packing, because they could actually fit quite a lot in here that they would need for their week or more's use. But one of the most interesting things about this, particularly in Europe, is the dimensions of this pack fits within the standard in-flight bag allowance. So it is less than 55 by 40 by 20. So providing you pack it carefully, you could carry this on the flight with you, which makes it quite a useful bag. However, let's look at the key features. Like the current range of Gossamer Gear rucksacks, it's made from Robic fabric, both 100 and 200 denier fabric. It's had a few modifications from the previous ripstop Dyneema version, and we can go through some of the key features now. So starting from the front of the pack, you can see it's got a very natty yellow webbing. Whereas the Mariposas are blue webbing, so you can spot what people are wearing from a distance, which is also good. Compared to the Mariposa, where the actual lid clips down, the lid clips down on the side of this particular pack rather than on the front sections, which is worth noting. It's got its usual generous front pocket, which Gossamer Gear are well known for, and once again, this pocket is no slouch. It will take a day's worth of gear and equipment, your wet weather gear, etc, etc, and of course it's got the obligatory drain holes at the bottom of the pack as well, bottom of that pocket. So it's a generous, good front pocket. At the bottom of the pack, just like on the Mariposa, we have a couple of tip points here for your walking poles, so they can sit in there and then be clipped to the top of the pack using one of the various attachment points here. And also you've got your ice axe loop as well, of course. The one thing that is noticeable about this pack compared to the Mariposa is it does have fairly juicy side compression straps built in. Whereas the Mariposa didn't have these, but it had the obligatory 6 tabs. In the case of the Gorilla, it's just got 4 little tabs. Oh no, I tell a lie, it's got 6 tabs here, which you can zigzag shock cord on or whatever to add for compression, or obviously to add other items externally to the pack should you wish to do so, like a roll mat or whatever. The side pockets of the Gorilla, there's 2 matching side pockets. They are angled, as you can see here, so that you can reach into them with your left or your right hand while you're wearing the pack, and they're generous side pockets, once again with the obligatory drain hole in the bottom as well, which makes them useful. On the top of the pack, we have what is typical of the Gossamer Gear range at the moment with this fabric is the top pocket, which is this flat pocket here, which goes round the whole of this sort of lid section. Now what I found from experience using this pack is that really is only useful for flat foldable items such as maps, paperwork, that sort of thing. But as soon as you get any bulk in there whatsoever, it becomes quite awkward to manipulate the lid on and off comfortably and also access whatever it is you've got in there. However, when you purchase the pack, you'll find this is where they locate the included cord and cord locks, which will help you with whatever it is you want to compress and stash. On the back of the pack, we have the removable foam back section. So let's just have a look at that in detail. As with the Mariposa, this is quite a flexible, useful way of using it as a pack structure. This comes out, is easily removable, so people sometimes use this as a sit mat. It just easily pops out like that, and obviously the other end as well pops out. Some people use it for a sit mat, some people use it as an extension to a short sleeping mat, and some people will fold their Neo Air or their Sea to Summit lightweight pads down into sixths and slide them into the back of here, and then drop the pad down over the top. So it actually protects your sleeping pad and sandwiches it between the foam and the contents of the rucksack, which is a way of doing it. I've done that myself, and it does take an awful lot of bulk out of the rucksack, which is what you want to do when you consider that it is a 40-litre pack and the main pocket is only 28 litres. So you need to be very careful with your packing. On the shoulder harness, we have this new custom air mesh fabric on the shoulder harness. They've narrowed down the shoulder harnesses. They were a bit wider with the old Dyneema packs and not as padded. And as you can see, there's a good thickness there for padding. And also this air mesh does allow moisture and heat to escape, which obviously is a build-up. And on the shoulder harness, you have, starting at the top, you've got your grab handle. You don't have any upper cinch straps here, so you need to make sure the rucksack fits cleanly for you if you can. Then you've got various attachment points here, and there's a couple there for little clip-on pockets, which might be ideal for glasses, GPS, or whatever. Another thing in common with the Mariposa on the Gorilla is at the bottom of the shoulder harness, the Gossamer Gear have placed these male and female clips for the excess tabs, so that when you pull the shoulder harness down, you have something to clip the material out of the way. In practice, this doesn't appear to be much use to a lot of people. I've never really seen anybody use it because where it tends to lie, it is quite uncomfortable across the chest, stomach area, and the chest brace obviously does the main work. This one up here is the one you're concerned about. So in general, if you find these to be an inconvenience, do what I do, cut them off. They're actually of no use whatsoever, unfortunately. If you're a hydration user, there's a hydration slot left and right, he said, just trying to get his finger in it. There you go. So the hydration slots are there, which allows the hydration pipe to run down the shoulder harness, which obviously makes life a lot easier. The chest brace is, as you would expect, adjustable and slides up and down to suit your frame. We have heard, and I've experienced myself, comments where this actual slider unit does unclip sometimes when this webbing gets wet. It's something to keep an eye on. It's a bit of an inconvenience when it does happen, but you just got to make sure that it stays in place when you put the rucksack on and off. The harness is advertised and promoted as being unisex. Obviously the female form can be very different, and so consequently it's better to try the rucksacks on and obviously see which one works. We've fitted quite a few of these now, and to say quite a few women has been comfortable on, but just like shoes, the same rucksack on a different female sometimes doesn't sit comfortably, so it's something unfortunately that has to be trial and error. Looking inside the pack, I'll just pop the lid off. It's got the over-the-top closure system, which means in Gossamer Gear's book they have this little clip here rather than a draw cord, which reduces the mouth of the neck down, so it allows the whole lot to fold over neatly. Otherwise you'd have material exposed either side. It works, there's nothing wrong with it, it works fine, but I've found that in cold, wet weather where I'm wearing thick gloves, this little clip is a little bit frustrating to clip and unclip, and sometimes the cord might be a bit more flexible, but that's a personal thing. Inside the pack, let's see here, you have the removable frame. Again, that can save weight, and obviously also, if you're using your sleeping mat as part of the frame structure underneath the foam, you may not need this, but the frame is very, very simple to remove. It's just a Velcro tab there, and the whole thing just slides out, and there's two channels either side for it to slot back into, should you decide you do want the frame after all. It does save you a few grams, and we'll go into weights shortly. And then, of course, underneath the pillow there, we do have the obligatory 2-litre hydration pocket for your bladder. to slot into. The pack is not sold with a hip belt. This allows the flexibility in fitting and size. The pack comes in 3 sizes, small, medium and large, and roughly that covers, small will cover people down to about 4'11" and the large up to 6'2". I'm 6'2" and I take a large pack in this and it sits comfortably, so I can agree with that as a rough approximation. But the measurements are there for you to make your own calculations. As I say, it doesn't come with a hip belt. This is an optional extra, and we've got one here. And now the hip belt is a Velcro pad at the back there, and that simply slots behind the foam pad, where is that? Down here. And there's a large, where my fingers are there, there's a large receiving Velcro pad there. So you just slide the hip belt in and it just sticks in place, which is great. So that makes it very flexible and very easy, of course, to take off when you're doing your in-flight thing and shove the belt inside the bag. The belts have 2 pockets on them, which are big enough, they're about the size of my hand there. They're big enough for small camera, GPS, suites, whatever, that sort of thing. The belts do have a minimum and maximum measurement on the when you come to look at them, and do take into account that the minimum does mean minimum. In other words, as you can see here, the foam padding is virtually against itself. It can't close down anymore. So consequently, let's put that on the other camera. So consequently, the minimum does mean minimum. And it's always best to allow yourself a couple of inches, 5 centimeters, should we say, something like that, just so that when you are wanting to compress this tight onto your hip shelf, you are able to lose weight as you walk, as we all do if it's a long walk. And you can still tighten it up, obviously, so it helps support the whole back system. One final thing to note with the Gorilla pack, that unlike the Mariposa, which doesn't have these hefty side compressions, it does mean that you actually can reduce the pack down if there isn't much bulk in it, because it's still vital that this fold over area, this over the top closure system, as Gossamer Gear refer to it, has got something to push against. In other words, for this compression to work and pull downwards, you have to have something to push the lid back up again. That is something to bear in mind with the balance, but it's certainly much easier to do in this pack than the Mariposa, thanks to these side compression units squashing the contents down that way, as well as then obviously spreading the contents upwards as well. There you go, the Gossamer Gear Gorilla, Robic fabric, yellow trim, 40 litres, 28 litres internal, side compressions already on it, and fits in-flight, most in-flight measurements. Obviously check with your carrier if you're going to use it that way, but that does make it quite a useful all-round bag when it comes to general use inside Europe. So let's now look at some of the technical spec, the weights and the sizes, of course, which go with the Gorilla. As I said, it's a 40 litre pack, and the main body being a good 29 litres. There are the select weights of all the individual items that go to make up a medium pack, which still comes in at 726 grams. Now this pack, as I said, is only available in 3 sizes, not the 5 sizes that the Mariposa is available in. And so there you have the various back lengths, which obviously cover most sizes. The optional hip belt is exactly the same that goes with the Mariposa, and you can choose the hip belt that suits your particular waist size. Of course, choosing the right right back length is an important part of choosing these particular rucksacks. Too short and it'll be uncomfortable, and too long and of course you could be in a dangerous situation and not supporting the pack correctly. So here's a quick video showing you how to measure your back. That's an important part, so make sure that you can find a friend if possible. Put some red rings around your waist and neck, or just use a bit of sticky tape really to mark exact spots and then measure your back accordingly. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a while since we've been producing the videos, but we've got plenty more coming. And if this is the first time you've seen these videos and like to know more about the audio podcasts as well as the videos that we're doing, here's how to subscribe.
Since 2005, over 8 million people have listened to the Outdoor Station audio podcasts, and over 5 million have watched the videos. You can subscribe to the Outdoor Station in numerous ways. Visit the website and select the link to your chosen social media network.
So that's how you can find us. Visit the website, iTunes, YouTube, you name it, we're all over the place. So thanks very much indeed for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye for now.